Hello everyone, welcome back to Believer Science Academy, Bengaluru. This is everyday news analysis session. In today's session, we are going to discuss some 4 to 5 important articles from the UPSC prelims, mains and interview perspective. Without the delay, we start the articles for the day 19 December 2024. So, the first article is from the Press Information Bureau. It talks about Pradhana Mantri Annadata Aay Samrakshana Yojana. Sorry, Aay Samrakshana Abhiyan. That is PM Asha. So, it is a old scheme, but it is in news presently. Why is it in news? It is in news because since its launch, PM Asha has significantly benefited farmers, contributing to the procurement of 195.39 lakh metric tons of agricultural commodities valued at 1,07,433.73 crore from over 99 lakh farmers. Okay, so it is helping farmers in terms of their income, so it becomes very important. So about the data, not very important, but just have a look about it. Procurement details. In the Rabi 2023-24 season, 6.41 metric tons of pulses valued at 4,820 crores were procured from 2.7 lakh farmers. This included 2.49 LMT of Masoor, 43,000 metric tons of Chana and LMT of Moong dal. Not very important. Additionally, 12.19 LMT of oil seeds valued at 6,900 crore were procured from 5.29 lakh farmers. So there have been data. So all this data is not very important. You can just remember this data. That is procurement of 195.39 lakh metric tons. That is LMT from 99 lakh farmers. Okay, that you can remember. So what is PM Asha scheme? Sorry, excuse me. Details about PM Asha scheme. It was launched in 2018. PM Asha is an umbrella scheme encompassing various components to ensure farmers receive fair prices for their produces. Okay, PM Asha, it is an umbrella scheme. Under PM Asha, there are many sub schemes, but overall, the aim of all the schemes, all the schemes under umbrella scheme of PM Asha is to ensure that farmers receive fair prices for produce. AMC is ensuring fair prices for the farmers by providing price support when market prices fall below the MSP, that is minimum support price, and it also aims to stabilize the prices of essential commodities, benefiting both farmers and consumers, addressing price fluctuations and ensuring sustainable agricultural practices for crops like pulses, oil seeds and copra. So this is the aims and objectives, the structural mandate and the implementation. It is a central sector scheme, meaning it is fully funded by the center only. Nodal ministry is Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. In the fund allocation, 35,000 crore was allotted during 15th Finance Commission cycle, which is expected to remain up to 2025-2026. There are central nodal agencies such as it guarantees to lender banks for extending cash credit facilities to agencies like NAFED, that is National Agricultural Cooperative Marketing Federation of India, and NCCF, that is National Cooperative Consumers Federation of India Limited, for MSP procurement. So these are the nodal agencies for which guarantees are provided by the banks. Then Department of Consumer Affairs will procure pulses at market price. Okay, pulses at market price from the pre-registered farmers on eSmriddhi portal on NAFED and eSamyukti portal of NCCF. Okay, so it is not just one agency, but it is both NCCF and NAFED, and within those agencies there are two portals, that is eSmriddhi portal and eSamyukti portal, on which a farmer has to register himself in order to avail the schemes. Once he registers himself, then it is the duty of Department of Consumer Affairs to procure the products from him. Okay, then what are the key components is First one is price support scheme. Price support scheme is the core component PM of ASHA, operating through state governments to procure notified commodities at a minimum support levels, that is at the MSP. It provides financial relief to farmers when market prices fall below MSP, offering remunerative prices and promoting investment in the agricultural. Okay, whenever the price of the goods or the producers, agriculture producers, goes below the market price, okay, then they are allowed to they are allowed to sell to the government at like MSP, okay, minimum support price. The government fixes MSP for 24 crops at 1.5 times the cost of production. Okay, there is a debate about MSP and what type of formula should be followed. At present, it is followed at 1.5 times the cost of production to ensure fair income for farmers. Okay, the C2 method. Then, second aspect of the scheme is payment price deficiency payment scheme. Under this, farmers are provided direct payments if the market prices of oilseeds fall below the MSP. Okay, here farmers are asked to sell in the market itself. Whatever the gap is there between MSP and the market price, that we will be sending you directly. Okay. Okay. Then market intervention scheme. In market intervention scheme, it provides financial assistance to states for price stabilization and perishable agricultural commodities like tomato, onion, and potato, which are not covered under the MSP. Okay, so what are the covered under the MSP are done through PDPS and PSS, like PDPS and PSS, and whatever the goods are not covered under those schemes, those are dealt under market intervention scheme. Okay, the scheme helps manage price volatility and benefits both farmers and consumers by stabilizing the prices. Okay, so first aspect, that is PPS. Okay, PSS, that is the price support scheme. It works on the MSP, meaning when the market price goes below certain limit, then they are allowed to sell to the government at the MSP. And second one is PDPS. In the PDPS, farmers are encouraged to sell in the market itself at market price, and whatever the gap between MSP and the market price, it will be paid by the government to farmers through direct benefit transfer. Okay, so this is the two aspects of PM ASHA scheme. There is also fair remunerative prices. It is only covering the sugarcane. Okay, and then there is also a scheme called price stockist private scheme. Okay, private stockist pilot private stockist scheme, where it is allowing the private individuals to procure at MSP, and the government will provide the gap between MSP and market price to the private individuals. Okay, here the gap between market price and the MSP is provided to farmers, but whereas it is provided to the private individuals. Okay, those are still in a early stage, that have been not completely implemented because private companies are not interested in these kind of procurements. Okay, then moving on to the second article, it is also present in the Business Standard news article about OPEC plus. Okay, why it is in news? It is in news because with Donald Trump potentially returning to the White House, OPEC plus delegates express concern over higher US oil production. Okay, so his administration's focus on deregulating the energy sector could lead to increased oil output, contributing to a further erosion of OPEC's market share. Okay, OPEC plus market share. If USA starts producing more oil prices, it is going to undermine the market share of OPEC plus countries. What are the OPEC plus countries? Okay, so these are the OPEC plus countries: Brunei, Malaysia, UAE, Oman, Bahrain, Kuwait, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Russia, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Algeria, Sudan, South Sudan, Nigeria, Congo, Angola, Gabon, Guinea. Okay, all this comes under OPEC plus countries, and then there is Mexico also. So what is Organization of Petroleum Exports Countries Plus? Okay, so do not confuse it with OPEC. There is OPEC and then there is OPEC Plus. OPEC Plus, it is a coalition of OPEC members and non-OPEC oil producing nations that work together to manage oil production and stabilize global oil prices. Okay, it includes both OPEC countries and other oil producing countries, but are not the members of OPEC. OPEC. Okay, all those are included. This alliance was formed in 2016 in response to the increasing oil production in the United States, particularly from shale oil, which led to falling oil prices at the other countries. Okay, and who are the OPEC? OPEC was founded in 1960 and includes 12 member countries. Those are Algeria, Angola, Equatorial Guinea, Gabon, Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Libya, Nigeria, Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Venezuela. And who are the non-OPEC members in OPEC Plus? OPEC Plus includes 10 non-OPEC members. Along with the OPEC, there are 10 more members that are Azerbaijan, Bahrain, Brunei, Kazakhstan, Malaysia, Mexico, Oman, Russia, South Sudan, and Sudan. Okay, all these countries, only thing common in these all these countries is they are oil exporting and oil producing country. Oil producing and exporting countries. Okay, and about the global influence, OPEC plus countries together produce approximately 40% of the world's crude oil and control about 80% of world's proven oil reserves. Okay, so this is very important. And then what are the factors influencing OPEC's oil production cuts? They are cutting down the production. The factors are rising oil US production, that is shale boom in the US has increased its market share, impacting OPEC's plus influences. And then global price stability. OPEC plus implements production cuts in order to prevent oil prices from falling too low. Okay, if you are producing more and there is more to be sold, when there is more to be sold, obviously the price is going to go down. So in order to avoid the fall of prices, it is going for production cuts. Weak global demand. The extended cuts due to low demand, especially in major economies, because major economies are either moving towards green energy or capable of producing their own energy sources. As a result, the demand is reducing, so it is asking, like it is resulting in the low production cuts in OPEC countries and OPEC plus countries. And what are the implications of OPEC plus policies? Reduce market share, that is OPEC plus global oil share dropped from 55% in 2016 to 48% in 2024. Okay, there is a drop. And price volatility, that is OPEC plus's production cuts aims to stabilize prices, but increasing well of production affects this goal. Okay, so what the OPEC plus is trying to do, it is trying to reduce the production, it is trying to cut the production by certain rates so that there is less amount of oil present, so that we can control the oil price fluctuations or oil price falling down. But if there is another alternative that is coming from USA, which is producing large amount of gases, then it is going to affect this aim, that is stabilization of market. So these are the implications of OPEC policies, and also it is going to have impact on economic stability, that is production cuts help sustain favorable prices for oil producing economies. Okay, if there is less, then all the countries dependent on them are going to act according to the whims and wishes of the OPEC plus countries. USA wants to destroy this monopoly of the OPEC plus countries. Okay, then this is from the Hindu. There was an editorial about strengthening India's agri-carbon market. Okay, so first we have to understand what is carbon market. Carbon market, it is a virtual market where carbon credits are sold, traded, or retired. Okay, so carbon markets have the potential to transform Indian agriculture by incentivizing sustainable farming practices. These markets are actually divided into two types. One is compliance markets. These compliance markets are regulated by the governments or international bodies such as the United Nations, where businesses must purchase carbon credits or pay carbon taxes for exceeding emission caps. Okay, there is a cap on amount of carbon dioxide or greenhouse gases you can emit in a particular year. If you are going beyond that cap, if you are emitting more than that cap, then there will be carbon taxes or you have to purchase more carbon credits from these markets. Another is voluntary carbon market. What is voluntary carbon market? Voluntary carbon market is unregulated and it is allowing the organizations to trade credits through systems like clean development mechanisms, VERRA and gold standard. Here there is no third party such as United Nations. It is based on the voluntary carbon markets. That is, if you want you can trade or if you want you can retire. It is completely left to the individual or the private entity. Then these markets aim to reduce greenhouse gases emissions, mitigate climate change and support global climate goals. So what is the current status of carbon markets in India? Gaining momentum, with India announcing its compliance and voluntary markets at COP29 in November 2024. Where was the COP29 held? COP29 was held in Baku, Azerbaijan. Okay, the outcomes of COP29 becomes very important from UPSC prelims perspective. So, like I already made a video on this one. What are the important outcomes and what are the criticisms? You can watch that in the topic of the day discussion. And then collaboration between the National Bureau of Agriculture Research and the state universities has identified 5 agriculture related carbon credit projects. So what are the key principles under this one? That is additionality, meaning it ensures emission reductions are beyond normal practices. Then permanence, that is it guarantees durability of benefits excluding temporary or reversible solutions. Okay, so that whatever the solutions are provided are not temporary in nature, it is long lasting in nature. Then challenges in scaling up carbon projects. What are the challenges? First one is low trust, because buyers lose confidence in projects producing unreliable credits, discouraging sustainable practices. Okay, and there is limited farmer benefits. Studies reveal that smallholders and marginalized farmers are often excluded from projects aligning with carbon projects. Okay, carbon credits. And then lack of payments. That is 99% of the farmers involved in carbon farming projects did not receive carbon credits or associated incentives. Then why would anyone want to go beyond their line and limits to do this carbon credits or carbon marketing? Because even when we are doing certain issues, certain activities so that we can help the environment, so that we can generate carbon credits, if 99% of them are not getting paid, if they are not being compensated, then obviously the morale is going to go down, and then from next time they are not going to involve in any kind of environmental activities. So we should focus on regular payments also. And then adoption hurdles, that is there are issues with scaling intercropping, reduce chemical fertilizers use and tree planting hinder the project success. These are the key issues why the carbon credits or carbon markets in agriculture in India is at the back end. So what are the case for inclusive carbon farming? Study findings, that is a study in Haryana and Madhya Pradesh found that marginalized communities and small farmers were largely excluded. Non-scheduled caste, that is non-scheduled caste farmers owned 46% of the land under carbon farming, while SC/ST farmers owned only 13%. This is very important part. You can mention in your any answers. You can mention in your GS1 answer, you can mention GS2, 3, 4 answers. Okay, this adds value to your answer. Okay, within the carbon credits, 40% of the lands under carbon farming comes under non-scheduled caste, that is upper caste or general. What are the barriers to this? Inadequate communication, limited access to credit payments, and insufficient financial resources discourage widespread adoption. You can also add small land holdings. Okay, in SC/ST communities, most of the times their land is very less. so less that they cannot be included in the carbon farming activities. So what are the recommendations mentioned under this article is incentivize inclusivity, that is offer higher prices for carbon credits from projects involving in smallholders and marginalized communities. Then enhancing participation through improving communication, ensuring regular training, and guaranteeing payments to encourage farmer involvement. Then international collaboration, that is work with research institutes or institutions to scale projects, address regional challenges, and establish regulatory mechanisms. And the final one is leveraging technologies, that is utilize advanced tools like satellite imaging and remote sensing to monitor emissions effectively. Okay, so the conclusion is carbon credits hold a significance in fighting the climate change and global warming, and especially agriculture carbon farming is very important because agriculture is, if not the greatest, is one of the greatest contributor of greenhouse gases in the climate change activities. So it is imperative for us that more farmers adopt these global farming or green carbon farming practices. Okay, and article 5 is from the Indian Express. It talks about Ganges river dolphin tagged for the first time in India. Why is it in news? Because for the first time, a team of wildlife conservationists have tagged the endangered Ganges river dolphin, making a significant milestone in conservation of India's national aquatic animal. Okay, so they have tagged the river dolphin. So now they will be monitoring these river dolphins. So this is aspect is not very important for us, but the static part, that is Gangetic dolphin, becomes very important. The key features of Gangetic dolphin or Ganges river dolphin. The Ganges river dolphin is nearly blind and it is relying on echolocation. Okay, echolocation to navigate and hunt. Very important. Habitat, it prefers slow moving deep fresh waters with the ample prey availability. And diet, it is carnivorous, feeding primarily on fish and aquatic invertebrates. And in geographical distribution, it is found in the Ganga, Brahmaputra Meghna and Karnapoli, Sangu river systems in India, Nepal and Bangladesh. Originally, we could see this species even in the Pakistan also, but now it has reduced. Once widespread, their population has now fragmented due to increasing anthropogenic pressures. So what is their ecological significance? It is also called as keystone species, meaning the dolphin plays critical role in maintaining the riverine ecosystem in India or ecosystem balance. It is also indicator species, that is the presence reflects the health of freshwater ecosystems. Okay, what are these indicator species? If the species is present in a particular ecosystem, that shows that that particular ecosystem is healthy or less polluted, etc., etc. These are called as indicator species. What is the conservation status of this? It is endangered and it is covered in Appendix 1 of CITES and it is covered in Schedule 1 of Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. What are the major threats? Threats are habitat degradation due to pollution and dams and barrages. These dams and barrages fragment the habitats, reducing the population connectivity. And bycatch and hunting, meaning while catching other fishes, they are also being caught. Accidental entanglement in fishing nets, targeted hunting for oil and meat in some regions. Then water abstraction, meaning over extraction of water for agriculture and industry impacts the river flow. And riverbed alteration or alteration, that is sand mining and dredging disrupts the dolphin habitats. Okay, so these are the issues. Then what are the government efforts efforts taken by the government? First and foremost is Project Dolphin, which was launched in 2020 by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi to conserve both river and marine dolphins. There are protected areas such as Vikramshila Gangetic Dolphin Sanctuary in Bihar, the only sanctuary which is dedicated to the river dolphin or like Gangetic river dolphin. Then community awareness. There have been many programs to educate local communities about sustainable fishing, and as a result, this gangetic dolphin is also called as national aquatic animal. Then technological interventions that include satellite tagging to study dolphin migration patterns and habitat requirements. Then there is also legislative measures, meaning strict enforcement of Wildlife Protection Act bans the destructive practices like sand mining. Okay, so these are the articles which we will discuss for today, because I will discuss many topics which are lengthy in nature. Okay, in the coming classes we'll discuss other articles or other important topics which are important from UPSC. If you wanted to discuss any article but that has not been covered, you can write in the comment box. We'll cover in the tomorrow class. There is no problem in that. And if you like the video, please click the like button. Also comment on it and share with your friends. With this, I will end the video. Jai Hind.